Now, we've talked about different ways to collect data: simple random sampling, stratified random sampling, systematic 1NK. There are two other, or actually one other major form of sampling, commonly referred to as convenience sampling. And typically, this is just really not a good idea. Sometimes it's the best you can do. That's just the way it is. But typically, convenience sampling is really not the way you want to go. There's too much potential for bias and way too much error. There's two kind of forms. First, of a mail survey. This is very commonly done. This is very inexpensive. They just send out a poll to a bunch of people and have them mail it back to you with you already have it pre-addressed and pre-stamped. But the problem is the response rate, which means the number of people or percentage of people that reply, is typically very low. And it's kind of hard to get a good representation of a population, because typically the only people that would respond to it are somebody that's bored and nothing else to do with their life, or they have some specific interest in the topic. This goes hand in hand with the idea of telephone opinion polls. You see these all the time, like on the news. Call 324-1555 or whatever. Press 1 to say yes, press 2 to say no, that sort of a thing. It's the same problem as with the mail surveys. You can't expect to get a real good representation of your population from something like this. Because again, only those people that are interested or bored would actually reply to the thing. Quite often you see, like on news shows or whatever, that they have an opinion poll. They say, call in tonight and we'll give you the results tomorrow. And often on the bottom they have a little asterisk to say it's not a scientific poll. And that's why. It's not very scientific, because it's very, very self-selected. The people decide themselves whether they're going to participate. It's not like having 20 acres of crop and you treat 5 acres with one type of fertilizer, 5 acres with another type of fertilizer, and then you go every 10 yards or whatever and grab a piece of that crop and do an analysis on how well it's doing. It's not like that. There's nothing real scientific or mathematically based selection process. It just doesn't exist there. So in general, I always think of these as not a good idea. But as I said earlier, sometimes some form of convenience sampling is really the best you can do. And if that's it, then that's it. But when you do a report, make sure that you make it clear to your reader how you obtained your sample. Don't try to hide the fact that it was a convenient sample. Just come out straight out, hey, this is what I did. That way a reader will understand up front how useful your research may or may not be. Let them decide.